This week on the podcast, we're joined by friend Jon Von Frankenstein, and we've written songs about An American Werewolf in London, which I think is the best Animorphs story. What about you guys? Hello, and welcome to the Royd Review Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Andy.
And we are joined once again by our friend Jon Von Frankenstein. I'm going to see how many different times I can pronounce that during this episode.
How many different ways?
Yeah.
It's Frankenstein. Thank you so much for having me back again, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely love it. I was very excited to be welcomed back on the show, and so happy that we were able to congratulate Andy on 5 years banana free. He learned about his potassium allergy 5 years ago, and he hasn't looked back.
Allergy to potassium.
5
Andy,
years banana free, guys. Listen, I didn't want to bring it up, but now that you did, let's bask in my glory.
There you go.
All right, Keith Lee.
You got a real banana free glow there, my friend.
Thanks, man.
This is actually true. My doctor recently told me, like, hey, your potassium's high. That's not good. And I was like, I didn't know that could be a thing. Because I thought potassium was just like, oh, good, you want your potassium? And my doctor was like, your heart's going to burst.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, no.
Oh, Christ, let me get these bananas out of my ass.
Robbie, would you say that you got so much potassium that it's coming out your assium?
Ooh, I would say that.
Hell yeah, brother.
This is true podcasting here.
Yeah, this is because there hasn't even been a rhyme.
I just rhymed. Potassium and assium.
Okay, but like that, you're right. Good job.
Thanks, man.
This week we're here talking An American Werewolf in London. John, real quick, promote all your podcasts and your socials.
Sure, of course. So I have a podcast called the Scrap Metal Podcast. You can find that over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. We actually just had a brand new show hit the YouTube channel where my co-host Chris and I are reviewing the first 50 episodes of the podcast before we had any sort of video element, and we're on YouTube. So that's called the Scrap Metal Recycling Bin. Definitely check that out. You can check us out on Instagram at Scrap Metal Podcast. And I also want to give a huge shout out to the Scared for Your Life Film Festival. You can find us on Instagram over at Scared for Your Life with 2 eyes.
Very cool.
So it's like all one word, Scared for Your Life with 2 eyes?
Yeah, Scared for Your Life with 2 eyes, which is the Long Island International Film Expo. That's where life comes from.
But so you're going to spell out with 2 eyes at the end of it.
Yes. It's Scared for Your Life with 2 eyes _X.
Okay, cool. And eyes is spelled E-Y-E-Y-E-Y-E-S.
Yes, absolutely.
I almost just said E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had an eye because he cut them out of his son.
Oh, my God.
Andy, how are you?
I'm good. How about you, Robbie?
I'm better than Old MacDonald's son, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. This wacky yarn that you've spun. Well, Robbie, have you ever seen this movie before?
No. Although,
Oh.
when I told my dad we were doing it, he got super hyped because he apparently loves this movie.
I thought I had seen this movie, but upon watching it, I was like, I don't remember any of this. So I don't think I have. John, I believe you definitely have. You suggested this one.
Yeah. This is one of my absolute favorite movies. I feel like anytime I've been on the show with you guys, it's like, I fucking love this movie. Oh my God. But no, I truly do. I have seen this movie countless times.
Even Morbius?
Previous episode, check it out.
There it is.
I was super excited to do this with you guys hoping that you guys were watching this for the first time, because for me, this movie goes back to childhood. The very first time I ever saw this movie, I was in El Salvador. And my cousins were watching it. I came in during a crazy transformation scene, and I was not the same ever since. And I absolutely love this movie, so much so that my wife got me a model of the Kessler dog for Father's Day. Yeah, I'm holding up for our podcast audience here.
Yeah.
Holding up a NECA model from
Woo! Yeah!
yeah, baby. That glare is so great that you guys can see every detail on there.
Yep. Oh, incredible. Wow.
But it's really, really cool. I love this
cool.
movie to bits, and I love lots and lots of aspects about it. And this was my first time, which is what I love doing with you guys. This is the first opportunity that I've had to watch this movie a bit more critically. But I still found myself having a really good time with it.
Nice. Robbie, what year did this movie come out, would you say?
Oh, what I say? No, it's not.
Yeah.
This isn't a guess. I know what year it came out.
Okay. What would you say then, Robbie?
It came out in the year of our Megazord, 1981.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna start briefly at number 23, because that's An American Werewolf in London with $30 million.
What a coincidence that you were going to start at number 23, because you told me last week after the podcast, you said, Rob, I'm going to start next week at number 23, no matter what the movie is.
That's true. That's true.
And it just turned out to be An American Werewolf in London. Amazing. You do that.
Yeah.
You do that a lot. That's incredible.
You know what? I am incredible.
He's a regular David Copperfield. We love him.
Yep. I just also want to note that number 22 is The Great Muppet Caper. And I feel like puppetry and Muppets are a big part of this movie as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So just a big year for your boy Frank Oz, you know?
Well, at the end of the movie, it says, with a special thanks to Mr. Jim Henson.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, we're going to get into it, but the puppetry is insane in this.
Yeah.
It's like undeniably great.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna go to number 5. And that's Stripes with $85 million.
Stripes. The hell is that about?
That's the Bill Murray movie.
Bill Murray, yeah.
Oh, never seen it.
Yeah. Number 4 is Arthur with $95 million.
That's a good movie.
That is a very funny movie.
What's it all about, Arthur?
About an aardvark.
The one.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day
you're walking down the street.
Yeah. Number 3 is On Golden Pond with $119 million.
Lost me on that one, brother.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Sounds like a piss movie.
Yep,
You
that's what I was
fucking
thinking.
wish. Yeah, prevert.
I mean, if it's a movie about just people jumping into piss, I'm in.
Yo, if that's the case, come on over. Number 2 is previous episode Raiders of the Lost Ark with $212 million.
Nice.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check that shit out. And number 1 is probably a future episode, Superman 2 with $216 million.
Superman 2. Damn.
Which one was Superman 2?
The second one.
Oh, fuck. Thanks.
That's the one with General Zod and the boys.
That's what they're called, right?
Yep.
Superman goes, "Oh no! Get away! Get back, Lois! It's General Zod and the boys."
You know what always really got me was in Family Guy when it's the episode where like Lois learns how to fight, and Peter is in a bar and he's like, Yankees suck, Mets, all the New Yorkers are Yankees suck, Mets suck, Knicks suck, and she beats them all up, and then he goes, Krypton sucks, and you see the bad guys from Superman 2, and Lois kicks them into the negative zone and shit, or the Phantom Zone, whatever the fuck it is. That was so funny.
The Phantom of the Opera Zone.
Yeah, everybody's half fucked up.
Dun, 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 as they come flying in.
Let's get into it, fellas.
Let's get into what?
An American Werewolf in London, Rob.
Oh, you mean the film written and directed by John Landis?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
You know, this is his favorite film of his own.
This
Really?
is a good movie
Yeah.
for him to love.
Yeah.
I hope he loves it a lot more than the Twilight Zone movie.
Well, he got in a lot of caught a lot of flack for that.
Yeah.
'Cause people died.
Yes. Oh yeah. As soon as I saw the little boy in the hospital in this movie, I was like, "Get John Landis away from that child."
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
He made a Twilight Zone movie, and in the movie, a helicopter crashed and killed an actor and like 2 kids.
2 child actors. Yeah. They were breaking a bunch of like child actor labor laws. They had them there shooting after hours. They were shooting in cold water. They were shooting on a soundstage, and the helicopter was a real helicopter being shot at by pyrotechnics. The pyrotechnics ended up, becoming too much, so they tried to drop the helicopter a bit, and they clipped one of the rudders or whatever, propellers, and it just comes crashing down. Yeah, it's very, very sad. But Landis saw next to no consequences for that. So.
Wow.
But thankfully, we got this movie.
Yeah,
That's true.
I am so happy we're starting on a light note here.
Yeah, real nice and light.
Oh, it's the spooky vibes, Robbie.
Yeah.
It is. Boy, am I really fucking scared, October.
Which, I gotta be honest, up until this point, we have failed on the scared part of October.
Yeah, it's true. This is true.
I'm glad that we got to do this scary one, though. I really like that because I feel like this is the first one that I suggested that might actually be scary.
Well, we did Nightmare on Elm Street like two weeks ago. And
Yeah, but I didn't find it scary.
Yeah.
I found it hilarious.
Yeah.
Because of the blood geyser.
Loved it.
Yeah.
The opening credits are to Blue Moon. We see shots of the English countryside. We meet 2 dudes, David and Jack. They're being driven in the back of a truck. They're sitting with a bunch of sheep. They're let out because it turns out they were hitchhiking. And then the sun goes down as they approach a little town. I just had to say that because I wrote sick rhymes next to it.
Nice, dude.
I love how natural Griffin Dunne and David Naughton are together as friends. Just the way that they sort of like pick at each other, and Jack is like, "Oh, of course we had to come to, England first, and we'll do Italy later. We've got time." It all feels very, very natural, like scripted, because I think David Naughton is a little dry. It seems like there's some real camaraderie there.
Yeah, I agree. They had a pretty believable friendship.
Right? Yeah.
If you're doing England now and Italy later, why do England at all? Real quick, thank you so much for listening. If you want to send us some feedback, send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. That's ROYDSREVUE@gmail.com.
You could also find our music on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music, by searching The Royds. That's ROYDS. We have 2 albums and a Christmas song. Hope you like it.
That's Jack's point. That's why he's pissed off with David. He's like, "Why did we have to start here? It's rainy. It's, I'm well aware of the weather in Rome right now."
Go anywhere else.
Yeah.
They really do depict London as just like kind of not a great place. Not just London, like England. Like it's like everything sucks. Like everything's gray. It's always raining.
Well, because they walk into this pub, and it's apparently they're in the wrong part of town, brother, because everyone just stops and stares.
This is the most temperamental bar that's ever been.
Yeah.
Well, first off, your boy, he's talking to David. Jack is talking to David, and sounds like your boy's stage 4 friend zoned, brother.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, immediately calling a girl mid. I love it.
Okay, I have to be honest. I was so disinterested in these 2 fucking guys that everything they were saying was going way over my fucking head. At one point, we get this shot of like them walking away, and it just sticks on them as they're walking down the street, and I'm like, let's go. I know we're early in the movie. I don't need to see these guys walking for 2 straight minutes.
That's early 80s, late 70s filmmaking, though. It was always a long tracking shot as people are walking away, or they're walking towards the camera. and it's just stuck on them. I think that adds a little bit of charm, but I just like that.
See,
kind of.
If it was walking towards the camera, I'd be more forgiving. But like as they're walking, I'm hearing them less and less.
Yeah.
And
I'm like,
are you talking about what after they leave the slaughtered lamb?
I don't remember. I just know around this point, there's a few times in this movie, I have to admit, while the runtime is not a problem, there's 7 minutes. We can cut out and make this a clean 90, if you ask me.
I will agree at certain points that it's like, what are we doing here? And that's mine is later, and well, I'll point it out when it comes, but I didn't really have an issue here because I just figure, okay, I'm getting to know these guys.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But as soon as they go into the slaughtered lamb, I think this is the first time that I'm realizing they're not just like grumpy Englishmen. That they want them to leave. They're like, if we let them stay here, we have to let them in on why we can't leave tonight. We're all huddled in here. And later on in the movie, they mentioned that this has been going on for 200 years. That this werewolf curse has been going on. So I think it's really interesting where like everyone is just being super cold to them, just hoping that they'll leave in time to make it out before the full moon rises. And when you see the pub owner getting like really concerned for them, that adds that additional layer of storytelling there.
Yeah, but why do they not want to tell them? Or why wouldn't they just be nice to them? Be like, you know what? Stay here for the night. It's dangerous outside anyway.
Being nice would definitely would work more than being mean. Like.
Well, one guy makes her remember the Alamo joke, and this is apparently the funniest joke any of those limey Brits had ever fucking heard.
Yeah. Also, I did like how the ladies like they're like, you got coffee or anything? They go through like 8 drinks. She's like, we don't have anything hot. If you want something hot, get tea. And he's like, oh, can I have tea? She goes, no.
And she goes, unless you want me to make some. And they're like, please?
Yeah.
It reminded me, you guys know the song by Weird Al Yankovic, Albuquerque?
Yes.
And he talks about when he goes to the donut shop, he goes, do you have any apple fritters? He goes, no, we're at apple fritters. Good stuff. One of them asks the people about the star that's surrounded by candles on the wall, and that stops everyone dead. And it's like, guys, you can't have that like in plain view and then get upset when someone's like, hey, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. And like you see the way they speak to these guys, and then later when the doctor comes in, it's totally different vibes.
Yeah.
Like he asked and they're like, oh, it came with the place, and then we said, it was historic, maybe we'll just keep it. Like,
right.
But with these kids, they're like, get out.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's because they're dumb Americans.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's what like sort of pisses them off at first, is like, not only are they American, but now they're asking us about our weird superstitious regalia that we have up on the wall and stuff like that. And but I love that Jack immediately calls it out, like, dude, that's a fucking pentagram, like, fucking Lon Chaney Jr. and the Wolfman, like he points it out, which grounds this in a tiny bit of reality where they're aware of the Wolfman, they're aware of what a werewolf is, their wolf, their castle, and all that. So but I do like that it's just that, like, you're asking us questions about our culture. We are here, we don't have to explain it to anyone, we've all had to live with this, and now you guys are infringing in our night, pretty much. But then don't have that shit in the pub.
Yeah. And like, I'm assuming that they're all gathered at the pub to begin with because it has all that stuff, which is like a protection against the werewolf.
Right.
So like, if they were staying home, the werewolf could like break into their house and go a little chomp chomp on them,
Yeah. I do love that Jack was immediately spooked by all that. And I did get worried that when Jack looked at it at first, he's like, what the fuck is up with that star? I was very scared he was confusing it with the Star of David, and I was like, oh, this movie's about to get real uncomfortable.
Yeah.
One guy even blames him for missing a dart shot.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
you made me miss my shot, bruv.
And then they're like, get out.
Yeah.
It's like, and then as soon as they leave, like half of them are like, you can't let them go out there, and the other half is like, it's too late.
Oh no, we've lost Americans again.
Yeah.
Are you daft? I love that. But it shows that like there is
There are some
Part
good
to
British
some of them.
people.
Yes, exactly.
And it's the 4 Beatles.
Let's know.
It's 2 of the 4 Beatles.
Even that's a stretch, brother. Maybe it's one of the 4 Beatles.
Just Ringo. Nah, I read something he beat his wife. Damn.
You know what happened? He turned around too quick and accidentally hit her with his nose.
Got him.
The boys are walking. It's a full moon, so judging by the title of this movie, there's gonna be a werewolf at some point. The boys do some singing in the rain. We hear the werewolf howling, and one guy goes, "I didn't hear it."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like just telling yourself so you don't shit your pants. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the part that feels the most realistic in terms of their friendship to me.
Yeah.
Where Jack is like pissed at David for not just having them in England when they could have been in Italy, but like when
Now
they
there's
have
a
that
werewolf.
shot. Yeah, now there's a fucking werewolf here. You know, stick to the road. Oops.
Yeah.
But that shot where they're like walking away from the howl and then suddenly it's in front of them and now they're staring directly at the audience.
Yeah.
And Jack is like, "Oh shit, David, what the fuck is that?" That's like that very typical, like, you ever have your best friend get you into a shitty situation? You're like, "Why the fuck are we here? What the hell are we doing? We have to fucking leave now, please." And that felt very realistic. There's a sense of panic there. And like, I've seen this movie so many times that I know every jump, I know every cut. So it didn't scare me, but I like, did this scene get you guys at all? Like, I have to hear what it was like watching it for the first time.
I thought the dialogue was very real because they kept saying shit and fuck because they were scared. And they weren't going, "Oh, crap!
Yeah.
Oh, no!"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I'm not scared watching it, but like I can understand, like if I put myself in their shoes, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And that makes for good storytelling as well, you know, like it doesn't have to directly scare me. I could be indirectly scared through the characters, you know, like I like that.
Yeah. I think it's more a question of like, is this scene building tension now? Where they build it up with the sound design, they build it up with how disoriented you get with the different cuts of them walking around the moors. Because I have to imagine it's probably on a soundstage. They probably had them walk within the same like 10 square feet or something like that. But they managed to make it feel like it's this really large field.
Yeah.
But the sound design is incredible in this. And like, there's a scene when they're just walking on the moors where it sounds like the theme to the Incredible Hulk TV show with Lou Ferrigno. And it's like, oh, okay, something's about to fucking happen to these guys.
And it's the fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird when the howls were Hulk smash.
Yeah. And then Jack gets mauled by the Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno comes out like, what's going on, everybody?
Oh, no.
But yeah, Jack does get mauled something rotten.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he does.
And I liked how David, like, he just books it.
Yeah.
Halfway through booking it, he's like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
Jack?
He's like, shit, Jack.
He
Yeah.
he turns back. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because like your first instinct would be to just fucking book
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. He's just like, it's that fear, it's that survival instinct, and he's like, it's having the attack end with Jack screaming, "It's killing me," and then he's just like limp is fucking terrifying. And like I forget what they managed to do. I think that they were pumping some sort of air into Griffin Dunne's jacket so that you can see the steam coming up from his blood. And like that adds that extra layer of like just gruesomeness to it that makes that attack so fucking visceral.
If there's one thing that this movie nails, it's attention to detail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like really, really good. And like, I mean, it is very visceral. Like this is probably the most violent movie we've done on this podcast, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We did just talk about the blood geyser. That's pretty violent.
Yeah. Also, like, it's not a horror film, but Reservoir Dogs is pretty violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that one? Everybody gets shot in the head at the end.
The Mist.
No, the Departed.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody and their
pretty
mother
violent.
just gets capped in the face at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah. Yikes. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, for an 18-year-old movie.
Yeah. Well, I liked how like then the village then it gets David a little bit.
Yeah, because David goes to save Jack, and that's when
Yeah.
the monster attacks him, and then the monster gets lit the fuck up.
And I really liked how you hear the shots and you see from David's point of view just a man
Yeah.
drops.
Yeah.
So like they shot it and it immediately turned back into a man.
Yeah.
And for a second I was confused. I was like, who the fuck is that? Oh, that's the werewolf that they just
Yeah.
shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
why is Jack naked?
Yeah.
Oh my,
But-
David, what were you gonna do to him?
Yeah, it's genius because they managed to like use all of the lore that we've learned from the Universal horror movies and any other monster movies, and they kind of poke fun at them. Like later on when Jack is talking to David and he's like, wouldn't I have to use a silver bullet to kill myself? And he's like, be for fucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we're talking about you're a werewolf. Like, what?
Right. Like you're an undead spirit and you're talking
Yeah.
to me. He's like, be
Oh,
for
yeah.
fucking real, dude.
Yeah. I love the fucking nightmare scenes that come out of this though. As soon as David, passes out after the attack, those point of view nightmare shots, it's like very Evil Dead, very Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And then we've got him like running through the forest and hunting down the deer and stuff like that.
Well, that was the
That's
thing.
all right.
I was kind of confused there. I didn't know if those were nightmares when he was like running in the forest eating deer, or if that was just point of view of him just running through the forest at night.
Okay. I never
Because
thought of it that
They
way.
say in the hospital, they say, yeah, you've been out for like 3 weeks. And because they even say, like, when you got here, all your wounds were healed.
Right. Yeah. All his wounds were like dressed and everything. They were
Okay,
already,
yeah,
like,
maybe.
yeah.
So
Maybe he just did
It could
that.
be.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a nightmare. I thought that was a POV shot of him like running through the forest and just like wrecking days. Because every time they'd go to feed him, he's like, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
I don't want your human food. Fuck
Yeah,
this. I
he's
want
like-
to eat raw meat, baby girl.
Yeah.
He's never hungry. Yeah, that's very true. That's cool.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say to refute that somewhat would be the nightmare after he starts falling in love with Alex, because it's in the same forest. Where
Okay.
he sees himself in the hospital bed. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
An ambassador tells David that both their families have been notified, and he's being all cheery about it, this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry about it, buddy. The ambassador is rambling, being completely unhelpful as David is freaking out. The ambassador reminds me of Tobias Funke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's
dude.
just the way he looks and acts. I was like, I know this is 1981, but is that David Cross?
Yeah. Dude,
is in
if
everything.
fucking Frank Oz, fucking Fozzie Bear and or Yoda came to my bedside and was like, everything is fine. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I know that voice because the Muppets exist in this universe. So
They
in
do.
some part of his brain, he's going, what the fuck is Fozzie Bear doing
Yeah.
at my bedside?
The tumor
Waka
spread
waka.
to your liver. I'm kidding, it spread to your spleen. Waka waka waka.
I did like how everyone is rude. Like
Yes.
the one nurse comes in, she's rude to David. He's unconscious, and she's like, "Check out the Jew." And it's like, relax,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude's just a patient in a hospital.
Yeah.
And then the other nurse is like, "All right, fucking relax." And then the doctor comes in. He's rude to that nurse. He's like, "Hey, what do you do around here? Is it nothing?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here." And she's like, "Okay."
It was just natural to be rude to nurses for such a long time in hospitals.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like the nurse would do literally all the work, and then the doctor would slap her on the ass and be like,
Yeah.
"Go get me a coffee, sweetheart."
Yeah, but Yeah, I think it's just more like, hey, England is everybody's actually a little unpleasant.
Yeah, well, because when these two detectives come in, one of them is totally incompetent, but he's also totally under his partner's thumb because the dude won't hear it. He's like, shut the fuck up. I'm talking now.
Yeah. And this is where John Landis shines, where that like comedic directing and the way he's able to just give us a little bit of levity after this crazy attack scene, after like, you know, David having to hear that Jack is dead and all this like super heavy stuff. Just to have the fucking buddy cop comedy show here with this guy just dropping the like urinal pans,
Yeah,
and pick everything up. That's because John Landis came from comedic directing, which is great because this starts the tradition of comedic directors being insanely good at directing horror movies. Fucking Jordan Peele. Shit, I forget the YouTuber's name right now. I just watched his movie Milk and Cereal on YouTube. It's like an hour-long found footage horror movie, but it was fucking
about
phenomenal.
Harvey Milk.
Yes, yeah, it was fucking great.
Wow.
Sean Penn reprising his role.
That's incredible.
He's just searching the cereal aisle.
That's scary.
Yeah, but I love that. Like, I feel like comedy and horror are very similar in that it's all about timing. It's all about timing. It's all about setup. So if you have a good grasp on comedic directing and comedic writing, because we have proof, I think it's just showing that you're always going to be, you know, have a leg up if you move into that horror field.
Yeah.
We go back to another POV shot. It's a naked David running in the woods. He eats a deer.
This was the deleted Dr. Pepper commercial that he starred in.
Nice.
And then they were like, you know what? Let's go with this other version instead.
At the hospital, Alex, the nurse, is taking care of some kids. The one who takes the pills just keeps saying no, and one of the kids just smacks him on the ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alex offers David some food. He's not hungry.
I don't blame him for not eating that British food. That shit's gross.
That's fair. But, okay, she goes to force feed him. I have an honest question. Would this turn anyone else on?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, if some woman, like, laid in bed with me, I was like, I'm gonna make you eat fried chicken. I'd be like, I'm so hard.
Robbie's watching this scene going, am I into this?
That's a new kink unlocked.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything new about it, brother.
Hey, he's known for years, brother. No, I don't know. It depends on what
You
they're
don't have
trying
to honestly answer.
It depends on what they're trying to feed me. You know what I'm saying? Robbie?
Probably pudding.
No
That would probably
potassium.
get you
I
going.
do. I do really fucking love pudding. So.
Oh, I was just thinking it was going to remind you of Cosby, your idol.
Oh no. Remember going to the diner all the time? I'd always be like, they'd be like, "Can I get you anything else?" I'd be like, "What's the largest portion of pudding that you could bring me, like legally?"
And they'd always be like, a cup.
Yeah, they'd be like, "How I could bring you two," and I'm like, "I'll take one. I'm good on one, actually." I'm sorry for wasting your time.
I think on this watch, the romance between Alex and David just seems so like dry. It seems very British. It does seem very, very dry.
There's a point where like I'm jumping ahead, but like later they go to her apartment and she's like just explaining, just not in a sexy way, but just explaining to him her attraction to him. She's like,
Yeah.
I find you dreadfully attractive. And then she's like, well, why don't you watch the telly whilst I shower?
Yeah.
I was like, this is so fucking British. Shut up. Whilst. You don't say whilst.
Yeah, that's why he Americanized. He's like, bitch, I'm going to join you in the show.
And he's like, why don't we just fuck? And she's like, all right, yeah, it's pretty much what I'm getting at.
I remember seeing that scene as a kid, and I was like, oh, that's what moon dance means.
David runs through the forest again. He sees himself in bed. This is the dream you were talking about before, because we see like a werewolf face, but it kind of looks like a vampire.
Dude, that's one of my favorite fucking shots of the movie. It's
that was
so
cool.
fucking good.
Yeah.
That was cool. The eyes are very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You know what got me with this? It is like when I was a kid, the very first time I'd seen it, I was like, I know those fucking eyes. I've seen those fucking eyes before. And I'll tell you the fucking connection is makeup effects artist Rick Baker worked on this movie and he worked on Thriller. And it's the fucking eyes from the end of the Thriller video. They're fucking terrifying, dude.
When I was doing my trivia, I read that Michael Jackson saw this movie and he was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so he called Rick Baker.
Yep.
And he was like, hey, do what you did, but do it for me. And he was like, all right.
Make me a cat instead.
Yeah.
And that's like, how great is that fucking video? How iconic. Like, real quick, I send us an email. I love Rick Baker so much because at every point in my life, I feel like he had this little tidbit of like horror, like shit that just scared the ever living shit out of me. And I was like, I love this. Something about this and the way it's making me afraid. I love this. I love this feeling. And first it was seeing the transformation scene in this movie. And secondly, it was the fucking Thriller music video because I was obsessed with Michael Jackson when I was a kid. And I would just watch it constantly. It scared me to death, but I just loved it. And like the transformation scene of him turning into that cat monster, they use a lot of the same effects and stuff like that in this as well. This is where they, perfected it.
Well, he would have been obsessed with you as a kid as well.
Probably, yeah.
Rick Baker is a middle child.
Is he?
Yeah, you know what his two brothers are named?
What?
Rick Butcher and Rich Candlestick Maker.
Oh man.
Robbie.
Oh boy. It makes me sad that Rick Baker doesn't work in movies anymore, and unfortunately that was because of his experience on another werewolf movie, the 2010 Wolfman remake.
Oh, with Benicio.
Yeah, Benicio del Toro's.
He was caught Me Tooing the werewolf.
Oh yikes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, like he did more incredible fucking practical special effects, and the studio's like, we don't have time, we want to scrap all of this, and threw a bunch of CGI over it. And he was like, they just kept taking time away from me, they kept taking resources away from me, so I just figured fuck it, and he quit the fucking movie industry. And that's a fucking crime to us.
Yeah, well, but if I remember correctly, that werewolf transformation in that movie is actually pretty good too.
Oh yeah. Like the final look of it and everything was the perfect mix between this werewolf and the Lon Chaney
original.
Wolfman. Yeah.
David tells the doctor he doesn't want to be by himself, so it's the nurse's job to watch him. She reads to him, "This is not a turn on because I'm not a child." David has a dream. Some kids are watching the Muppet Show and some monsters come in and just kill his whole family before slitting his throat.
Yeah, these nightmares are getting bananas, brother.
Yes, and we get a fake out because he wakes up and he's like, oh, thank God. And then the fucking nurse gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that thing comes through the window. Now, are those werewolves?
They're all man. One of them is a werewolf. Another one is just like the halfway transformed werewolf, which I think was a test makeup that Baker had done. So he ended up using that mask for this scene.
Okay. Why are they all Nazis?
So that's supposed to be like a callback to the fact that David is Jewish. And so he's thinking like here he is afraid of what would happen to his family. You know, he's got no way to see them, or not an easy way to see them at this point. And I think that's just those nightmares ramping up more and more, where he's worried about what could happen to him if he's gone, if he was no longer there. And I don't know, I guess just like being a Jewish American, that would be where a nightmare scenario would take you, right? It's like your family being invaded and gunned down, like terrible stuff like that.
I'd say a nightmare scenario would be Germany.
Yeah.
I guarantee Germany wasn't on their fucking itinerary.
Yeah.
He actually wakes up and he's brought some food. He sees Jack, but he's all shredded up. This looks fucking awesome.
Oh,
dude, this makeup is incredulous.
Yeah. This looked excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it, and he had like one piece of skin just like dangling.
Yeah.
So
Rick Baker
good.
and John Landis said that was their favorite, like, of all the makeup that they did, all the puppetry, all the effects that they did on this movie, their favorite thing was the one little piece of neck flap that just wiggles as Jack is talking.
I loved it. And I love how he's so nonchalant about the fact that he's just a fucking corpse.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah. You see how he's just like, I'm here to deliver information. I need you to know this. And this fucking sucks for me right now.
Yeah.
Like, sorry if I'm spooking you a little bit, but don't think about what it's like for me. Have you ever spoken to a corpse? It's boring.
Yeah. David, kill yourself. Like, that's all he's doing is telling David, you have to.
That's also really spooky. Like, okay, I'm seeing a dead man. And then that dead man is like, kill yourself.
Yeah, I'm seeing my dead best friend.
Yeah.
At one point, you got to start pinching yourself. Like, wake up.
Yeah.
This is where I say David Naughton's a little dry. Because, like, he starts screaming for the nurse on the intercom and stuff like that. But he's just, I don't know. He seems very flat at times with his acting. But it's understandable because he's trying to figure out, like, am I fucking dreaming again? Like, these dreams are just getting more and more intense and harder to distinguish from one another, which is why we get that double dream fake out before this, right?
Yeah.
Because now he's thinking like, oh, I'm absolutely fucking dreaming right now.
Right.
But yeah, like he tells him, yeah, oh, that girl that we were talking about in the intro of the movie came to my funeral, and you know what an asshole. She ended up sleeping with this guy to make herself feel better. And you know, like, I'm one of the undead right now. Like, this is what you need to do. You need to kill yourself. You need to stop the fucking lineage of the werewolf. And it's chilling.
He tells David, beware the moon. But it's like, everyone else really has got to beware the moon. Like, David will be just fine. He's going to kill everybody.
I ain't going to remember shit.
The nurse comes in and David just kisses her. He's like, that's it. I'm going for it.
Yeah. Making my move, brother.
He's like, if I'm fucking dreaming, then it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
He then tells her that he's a werewolf and he's going to become a monster in 2 days. And she's like, are you going to be okay? You're getting discharged tomorrow. After what he just told you, no, he's not. He's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
She is just like love struck. She's ignoring all the crazy shit, and she's like, this is a good looking American man, baby.
She goes, do you need a place to stay?
Yeah.
He just told you he's gonna go insane tomorrow night.
Yes, he did. And he also arrived on very, very mysterious circumstances.
Yeah. I think that because this was the first time that I watched this, not from the perspective of like, oh, Alex, oh my goodness.
Right.
Like, this is the first time that I'm thinking like she thinks that this guy's just experiencing some intense form of PTSD and he needs someone to watch over him. And fine, yeah, I find him attractive, so I'll let him stay at my place. And like, I kind of give her a pass for that very stupid movie decision, you know?
Yeah. I mean, now that when you put it like that, it's not, I mean, I wouldn't do it, but like it's something, you know?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I know people who make decisions, you know, like
no one would give a man who just said to them, I'm a werewolf and I'm gonna become a monster in 2 days. No one's not gonna go, oh, why don't you come live with me?
But here's the thing, Robbie, what if they gave you a boner?
Okay, listen.
Lady boner. Yep.
If they
lady
fucked
boner.
me the way David apparently fucks her, yeah, I could kind of get. I get it.
That's what I'm saying. She's like, oh, this guy needs help, but also he gives me the horn.
I put in my notes, Jack was right. He's eating her.
They ride the tube with some punks.
Yeah,
and
that's fucking
David's just making funny faces at them for some reason.
I think he was trying to make funny faces at her, no?
Yeah, he's like trying to make her laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just making fun of the punks. Like, you're gonna get your ass beat, dude.
Yeah.
In 1981 England? Yeah.
My parents went to England in the 80s, obviously before I was born. And they tell me that, like, they were getting followed by all these punks. And they were like, oh, shit, how do we how we do this. And so my mom, my mom's always with her camera. So
Yeah.
like she turned around, she was just like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you guys?" And they were like, "Yeah, mate, yeah, sure, whatever." And they were all like drunk, but they were like drunkenly following them. So my mom like expertly what's the word? Like fixed the situation. She was like trying to take their picture and she was like, back up, and there was a hill and they all just like rolled down the hill. And then my parents just kept walking. And I was like, that's a fucking great story, Ma.
They backed into an oncoming bus.
Oh, they
my
died.
God.
They fell into, it was a Mortal Kombat pit of spikes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Your mom's secretly a fucking spy, and that was just like the smoothest thing ever.
Yeah, it's incredible.
At her house, Alex shoots her shot. They then do some shower sex.
She explains to him her like sexual past.
Yeah.
He's like, I've slept with 6 fellows, 3 of them one night stands.
It's like,
Thank
okay.
you. Like, all right. And he gives her that Americock.
Very good.
Van Morrison, baby. Van Morrison's
man.
playing.
Yes.
Dude, I love
Dance,
Moon
right?
Dance. It's such a
Yeah.
good fucking song. But yeah, seeing this as a kid, I was like, oh, that's what that song's about. Oh my
It's
god.
about making love.
I think the sex scene goes on for an unnecessarily long time.
It was
Yeah,
the 80s.
I agree. As like I could see if I were a young boy in the 80s, I'd be like, that sex scene wasn't long enough. You know what I'm saying? But as a grown man, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on this.
And I'm like, this is unrealistically long time. Let's go.
I would have nutted and butted 4 times. brother.
David wakes up, he takes a piss, and he sees Jack's decaying body, and that's awesome that his body is like decomposing a little
Yeah.
more every
Yeah.
single time.
He's
Oh, yeah.
green. Love it.
Jack tries to convince David to kill himself again. David tells him to fuck off because he's going to turn into a werewolf the next night. I'm going to be honest, if I were in this situation, I'm doing at least one night as a werewolf. I got to try it.
Yeah, and I think at this point he's still like, oh, I'm just insane.
Yeah.
So, like, this guy's not telling the truth. He's not even real. Like,
Yeah.
Jack's dead and I've gone crazy, but like, I don't feel crazy, so maybe it'll just go away.
Right. It's like he's trying to rationalize it to himself.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to come up with whatever is gonna make him feel better about the whole entire situation. Because again,
Yeah.
he's been through a very traumatic thing. He saw his best friend die. No one is believing him when he's telling them, like, no, we were mauled by a fucking giant wolf. So he's like, none of this is fucking real. I'm here banging a fucking British nurse. The fuck is life right now?
Yeah.
When David and Alex are next talking, he tells her what Jack told him. And then he seems to be trying to get her to agree to kill him at one point.
Yeah.
I forgot exactly what he says, but he starts implying like, hey, take me out, If push comes to shove, you gotta pull the trigger.
I think that calls back to he's probably thinking about the conversation that him and Jack were having in the Slaughtered Lamb when he's telling him, like, remember the old fucking werewolf movie? It's Claude Rains. His dad ends up being the one who takes him out.
Yeah,
And it's only ever someone that actually loves you.
that's exactly what it
is your
is.
undoing. And like they hit that point just enough for it to fucking to give you that oomph at the end there. But
Yeah.
But it's also like, you're talking love already, people?
Yeah.
yeah, again, I mean, he's an American in a strange land. We move quick, we move fast. The British aren't used to it.
Hey, he's not in Thailand.
Oh, yikes.
Well, if they were in Thailand, she'd have a penis.
Should also be 12.
Oh, no.
I think this is the detective or the doctor goes to the pub and questions everything about the American boys. All the patrons play dumb. One of the patrons tells him that David is going to change, and he just gets yelled at by another one. He's like, hey, shut up over there.
Yeah.
I did like how, like, after the doctor leaves, like, they're like, Why'd you go and say that? And he was like, you know, if we told him, he'd think we were crazy. But like, is that worth? Like, I'm talking about how they didn't tell the boys at first.
Right.
That's
yeah.
why they went out. But like,
Right.
is that like, what's worse? These kids dying and or becoming werewolves, or you looking crazy? You know, like, you could look crazy. It's okay.
Yeah.
Save their lives.
Not in the early 80s, you can't look crazy.
To these random 2 Americans, who gives a shit what they think about you?
Yeah, but if you're a single person, you tell one person, like, oh man, this whole fucking group of people think werewolves are coming out. You know what's gonna happen? They're coming back to your pub with a fucking mob, and they're burning the pub down.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, think of
These
the
fucking inbred Brits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Their teeth come out horizontally.
Yeah, that's absolutely what they're in a fucking small town in England. Yeah, oh god, they're fucked. They'll believe it too. Because all the Londoners, all the city folk will be like, oh, those hills have eyes, people.
I feel like because now they've painted themselves into a corner, right? They let the boys go that first night. Jack gets killed, David gets attacked. So now they've got to dress his wounds. They've got to just leave him mysteriously at the fucking hospital. And I don't wonder if the original investigator that went in, that first cop, was like, oh yeah, no, we solved it. It was a madman, blah, blah, blah. They gave us the proof. Like, does he have some sort of connection with the village? Has he heard of this sort of story before? And that's why he's so ready to sweep everything under the rug and then suddenly lose all the paperwork that they'd done, the case report and all that stuff, which the doctor starts to find out. Because I like that he's now taking it from the perspective of, he doesn't believe that David is a true, hair and teeth werewolf. He believes in like the insanity caused by the event that he'd been through.
Right.
So he's like, no, if all these people believe that they were attacked by a werewolf, this whole entire village, how is that now going to affect the way that David's operating? And in his mind, he's going to go out and act out these werewolf-like scenarios, which is what people actually think happened back in the 1700s, where there were like reports of werewolves in France, and they think that it was just mentally ill people who believed that they were turning into animals and committing these attacks and stuff like that. And it was so animalistic that they were like, oh shit, it's an actual fucking werewolf. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Turns out they're all just infected because they were Europeans who didn't bathe.
Yeah. Tossing their shit out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a question.
Hit us with it.
Questions. The villagers from that pub, right? They shot the werewolf as it attacked David.
Mm-hmm.
And now they know that David's going to become a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Why not shoot David?
Maybe they
right then
didn't
and there.
know. Maybe they just assumed David was gonna die. Maybe they were like, okay, David's just gonna live. Maybe they didn't know that was gonna turn them into a werewolf.
Maybe they figured he was going to head back to America. Hey, they'll patch him up.
Their problem.
Yeah, they'll patch him up. We'll put him on a fucking. Oh my god, we have to write that fucking movie, Werewolf on an Airplane.
Yep.
Oh, why did I buy a flight for nighttime? Oh,
Yeah.
That would be fucking sick. Oh my god.
Would it?
Yeah, I think so. I've watched a vampire on a plane.
Yeah, I like that vampire on play movie. A vampire, excuse me.
Yes.
There are the pilots of planes have a gun. The minute someone starts to transform into a werewolf on an airplane, you're gonna get pilot, bring your fucking gun back here and put this guy down. And he's walking back there and putting one in his head, and then another in his head, and then a third, fourth, fifth, and sixth right in that thing's fucking head.
Okay.
That's how that movie goes.
Let's write the movie, Robbie.
I just did. I just wrote the movie for you.
Well, it was bad, Robbie. You could do better.
That's the planning scene. The pilot's like, yeah, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to take care of this guy. I'm going to put 6 right between his eyes. He opens up the door. Boom. Mauled. Now the werewolf's got control of the fucking plane.
And the gun.
Pentagon. And the gun.
The
He's got
werewolf,
opposable thumbs.
licensed pilot.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing.
Of
most
course, he lived
capable
in
werewolf
fucking
of all time.
Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
So of course he's a capable pilot. How else would he have enough money to go to England? Come on now. These days
Yeah.
in this economy? Come on.
That's a good point.
No.
Alex goes to work. David gets locked out. He climbs in a window, getting hissed at by a cat. He turns on the TV, and that's when CCR starts playing. And this is another time it's like, I don't need the full song.
Yeah, this is the scene where I'm like, cut that. You didn't need any of this. The only thing that I enjoyed, and it happens before this montage, so again, cut that montage. But I like that the dog is barking at him,
Yeah.
and I like that the cat is also like, get out of my face, you're not a person. What is this? I like that. But then him channel surfing.
Just watching all the different stuff.
Yeah, and like we watch him watch a full commercial.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's
that was
like,
just John
let's
Landis
go.
being like, let's film this shit. I've got this stuff from other
Yeah.
projects that I never had an opportunity to use it for, so let's just dump it here.
No, we need the full commercial.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Why was there the Two Brothers scrap metal commercial in the middle of American Werewolf in London?
Just tell her to call Two Brothers Scrap Metal. Two Brovs Scrap Metal.
Governor, in it.
David transforms into a werewolf, and this looks so good. It's iconic.
It's really, really good. I love that he's just like it just happens. Like he's reading a book and then he's like, I'm on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always found that really funny because it comes out of nowhere, and it's like, did Landis not really give him clear direction, or was it just like action and he's like, now I'm transforming into a werewolf?
Yeah.
But
it looks so good.
it looks great even today.
Yeah.
It holds
Yes.
up. It
It
holds
really
up,
does.
and it's like, do you guys know like what they did to achieve all the different effects and everything? Where they were basically using like bladders with this rubber
Oh.
makeup that they painstakingly like painted to look as close to flesh tone as possible, so that when everything is stretching out, his hand is stretching out and everything.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if they were just using clay and stuff like that, like you see this a lot in Terminator, you can clearly tell there's some grayness to that tone, to the skin tone. They took the time to paint it as close to true flesh tone as possible so that it just looks as realistic as they could. So as everything is stretching out, they're just behind like the couch, blowing into tubes, inflating these bladders to get all of his, his whole entire body transforming. And like all of the hair stuff was like old techniques, basically just like pulling the hair through this prosthetic skin that they had.
Yeah, and then reversing the footage.
Yeah. Like that, the fucking bumps in the spine coming up are great.
Holy shit.
The fucking Achilles tendon like elongating looks phenomenal.
Incredible.
Him screaming, like actually it was really funny when he falls on his back. I always think to myself, he's got like a little puppy belly. Like, I kind of just wanted to scratch it a a little bit.
I gotta get that baby.
His leg starts going. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, no. My weakness.
My belly squitches. But is there any connect, like Rick Baker? Did he work on The Thing previous episode?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
No, I think that might have been Dick Smith who worked on The Thing.
that's a guy who builds dicks, a Dick Smith.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Yes, it is. Laying pipe, I'm a Dick Smith, baby.
Well, like it reminded me like the special effects being so good and holding up of The Thing, because
Yeah.
Yes.
that shit, previous episode again, that shit holds up.
Yeah.
I always thought like practical is always gonna look good, and like you could fuck with practical with CGI, and that's where you
Yeah.
get like the bee's knees.
Yeah.
But this shit holds up, and it looks like just as good. It's so good. It's so good,
Yeah.
and I like how the transformation is painful. It's clear
Yes.
like he's not having a good time.
Yeah.
It's very cool, and as you would, your body is changing. Like that shit
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Rick Baker and John Landis both have talked about like special features and documentaries and shit like that I've watched. They talk about how you would watch the original Wolfman, and Lon Chaney Jr. is just laying there on a chaise lounge, and they just do the dissolves as they put more and more makeup on him, and it's like this is this monstrous thing that's going on to this person's body, but it doesn't seem like it's all that painful. They wanted it to be very visceral. They wanted it to look painful. They didn't want it to be a pleasant experience. His line of "Jack, I'm sorry I called you a meatloaf" gets me every. I want that tattooed so bad. For years, I've wanted a tattoo of the Kessler Wolf with "I'm sorry I called you a meatloaf" on it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. And imagine me at 7 years old watching that in my cousin's house in El Salvador. It's in Spanish. So
shit.
I truly don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
David attacks and kills 2 lovebirds. Then the detective asks where David is, and he clearly believes all the werewolf stuff now. A guy is out looking for the commotion, and he steps in his friend's arm. That looks sick. Gross.
Yeah, sure does. We don't really get back to his reaction, but he did look down, and then I think it shows him looking back up. Like, he wasn't really fazed. He was just like, "Oh, shit."
I feel like that's a situation where you're going to look down, you're going to see what it is, and it's going to take a second or two to register that you just stepped in an arm.
Yeah. There's like that fear is rarely captured in like horror films. You know when like you're actually scared of something and it just takes you a really long time to like do something about it?
Yeah.
You know, like when I was a kid, if I was like petrified, like let's say there was a big spider right on my wall and I was like truly petrified of it. I used to like, for some reason, spiders scared the living shit out of it. They still kind of creep me out, but I'll just like whap or like put it in a cup, take it outside, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I used to like I'd stand there for like 15 minutes just like staring at it, like what do I do? Like, like that kind of fear. Watching somebody be that scared is scary to me, and I like that shit. But
yeah,
you know that didn't happen here. It's irrelevant. So.
David does the world a favor and kills 3 homeless dudes.
Robbie.
He then chases down a guy on the subway, and
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I caught a little error here. Did you guys catch this?
No.
It said it was 13:01. That would be 1 p.m., brothers.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell we're American. It took us so long to understand what you're
what's
wrong
with that. Guys, that's sad.
Well, yeah, the subway scene is awesome. Really like it.
Yeah.
Really like how the camera like speeds up as it's following him, like where the point of view of Kessler.
Yeah.
And like the guy's sprinting for his life. I did also like how British at first that guy, he's like, I'm going to report this. Like, shut up.
My word.
Yeah.
Are you a werewolf?
I'll have you know I don't find this in the slightest bit amusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
it's fucking phenomenal.
Then when he's running up the stairs, you only see like you see the wolf for like maybe a second.
Yeah, a couple
but
fucking
he's just like lurking. He's like creeping.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's like smooth, but it's just so good. And like just like in Jaws, like less is more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Especially because the werewolf didn't have a bottom half. It was literally it was from like the rib cage upward. And so the way that they would operate it was basically Rick Baker would get into the werewolf suit, puppeteer the arms, and they would lift his legs up like a fucking wheelbarrow.
Oh shit. And
they had the hind legs like moving on a wheel, pretty much just like spinning around. So you really didn't get that shot all that much, but it's the limitations that they had for that puppet that creates such a frightening scene. That scene and that shot of him looking down the escalator and the wolf is just like barely coming out of the hallway there and coming into frame. I have that like a illustration of that right next to my bed. So like it's so fun. Yeah, I fucking love that shot.
They should have done it where it was like the werewolf was half man, but the bottom half, so it was just like like the top half was wolf, bottom half cock and balls out, just a man.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of cock and balls out.
Oh,
the
yes,
scene.
there is.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
David wakes up in a zoo naked with wolves. Talk about dances with wolves, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope that's all he did.
I read when I was doing my trivia that he was the only thing that the animal people assured him was like, "Oh, we just fed the wolves." He was like, "That's it? That's like the only precaution we're taking?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And so he did that in like one take. He was just like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here."
All calls.
And
Yeah.
then, Andy, David did something you did once.
What's that?
He was naked in a bush calling over a little boy.
Robbie. That is untrue. I wrote down a joke that is, I think it's really only for me and maybe other Metal Gear Solid fans. But when he was running around naked, I said out loud as Snake, I said, "It's amazing how you walk around like that."
Nice.
That's what Snake says to Raiden, because in Metal Gear Solid 2, you're stripped naked and you gotta like play a level naked.
Oh, you see cock and ball?
No, he's holding his cock and balls the whole time.
That sucks. Show
Yeah,
some
you're just
cock
like
and
running
ball.
around cupping your cock and ball, and then
You see
Snake
butt?
eventually finds you, and he's like, "It's amazing how you walk around like that." And you're like, "Snake?" And then I said it out loud like a fucking clown.
Show Snake your snake.
Yeah, let me see them cock and balls.
David steals a woman's coat and he takes the bus back to Alex's house. And she is very comfortable with when she goes, "I just woke up naked at the zoo." And she's like, "All right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, love struck.
The boy, he promises the boy a pound. Never walk up to a naked man when he promises you a pound. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, in England, a pound is money, Andy.
I understand, but the joke is pound is sex.
Yeah, that's why I would always walk up to a naked man offering me a pound.
A rabbi,
I'd say, "Give me that pound of flesh, baby boy."
Oh, that might work because he might be like, you know what, never mind.
And then I'd cut off his dick.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Because I'd say, "Don't offer me that British fucking money. It's not even good here."
I gotta tell you guys, something irked me here, and it was the fact that he gets back, he just like gets in the apartment, and he just like gets in bed, and then like just gets dressed, and he's ready for the day. Like you woke up in a zoo, dude. Take a
Yeah.
shower.
Yeah.
You woke up in a zoo in a pile of hay
Yeah.
next to
Yeah.
wolves. Take a shower, dude.
Yeah, Alex is so fucking relaxed where it's like,
She doesn't give a fuck.
yeah,
Oh.
the doctor is telling her like, "Get him back here. I want him under my care. We need to monitor him." And again, he's operating not from the belief that he's an actual monster, but that he's insane and he's
Yeah.
going to commit that he has committed murders in this,
Right.
lunacy that he's going through.
So this thread, even the doctor or the detective, I don't know what he is, but the white haired
the
man.
surgeon, the doctor,
The
yeah.
doctor and the detective look exactly the same in this movie.
Yeah. Well, like him going back to the town and then like telling her, "Oh, bring him back here," and like,
Mhm.
I find it mostly unnecessary. It doesn't really amount to anything.
All it really does in reality is just drive them to that same final point at the end of the movie where it's like we're searching for David. We finally found him. Hey, there's reports of a crazy fucking dog in Piccadilly Circus. Let's go fucking find him.
Now,
Yeah.
Piccadilly Circus, is that a circus that you go to and you pick out your favorite dilly?
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks
Absolutely.
for clarifying that.
Especially
Yeah.
at the stores here.
That's true. That's true.
The doctor calls and asks about David, but David just wants to fuck. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about a quickie? Let's do a quickie.
She's like,
Yeah.
"You just woke up in the zoo. Get off
Yeah.
of me. You smell awful." They take the cab to the hospital. When he learns about the murders last night, he gets out of the cab, walks up to a cop, and goes, "I'm a murderer." And the cop's like, "Oh, bruv, you're so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You're as funny as those Monty Python blokes."
Yeah. If you really want to get arrested, why don't you just punch the cop?
Because that's a worse crime. You'll get in jail. You go to jail for a long time. for
But
hitting
that's
a
what he
cop.
that's what he
That's
wants.
what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, but like more time than murdering 6 people.
I don't know about that, Robbie.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess
Yeah, I
because
think
he's just not
trying...
a violent guy. Like, he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
David goes to cut his wrists, but he's not going the right way, nor is he using a sharp enough knife, and he's also a coward, so he doesn't do it at all.
Yeah, I did like this was a fine bit of acting from him. I liked how he was like shaken, as you would be. And I also he says 516.
Yep.
For his number. He's a Long Island boy. It's Nassau County.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's got the NYU shirt on too, right? So we gotta figure he's fucking by the Coliseum?
Yeah, I guess.
Or no, that's Hofstra.
Right. That's Hofstra.
Yeah.
That's where you get the herp.
Oh yikes! Worse than becoming a werewolf.
I get the herp on a full moon.
Yeah.
Oh
no! Fucking, I love when he's talking to his sister and he says like, be nice to Max, because and I don't know if Max Landis was already born at this point. I would assume so, but that's John Landis' son is Max Landis.
Oh, look at that!
I think that was a little Easter egg.
David sees Jack. He follows him into a nudie theater, and they're talking in the theater. Which, okay, so first of all, boobies. Second, did you guys catch the scene in the porno that they're watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the guy comes in.
Yeah, and she goes, "I've never seen you before." My life. He goes, "Sorry," and he fucking leaves.
That was great. That was fucking hilarious. I love that.
Did you catch later on when in the background when she answers the phone? She answers the phone and goes, "Hello? No, I think you have the wrong number." "Oh, it's okay," and she just hangs up. And it's great because the name of the porno is Endless Orgy, and it just keeps getting interrupted.
Well, I really like how Jack is even more decomposed here.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
you
straight
can
up
see
puppet Jack.
like his full eyeball and like his teeth and shit. It's great. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do full moons happen 2 nights in a row?
Kind of. It's gonna be fairly full. You're at like 98% or whatever.
But don't you need to be 100% full moon?
Yeah, you know what? Werewolf rules. That's
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
the British.
I just figured, they did their research, but I have no idea.
They did their research.
Yeah, I just figured
it's full
they knew.
enough. It's
Yeah.
full enough.
All right. Because he starts to Oh yeah, Jack introduces David to the people that he killed.
Very cool.
All the-
Fucking great. Yeah.
I loved all the dead people speculating on how David can kill himself.
Yeah. And again, they're so British. They're like passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, must be nice to be alive.
Yeah. The fucking the guy from the subway is the best one. He's like, you left my children fatherless, and my wife is a widow. Just put the gun in your mouth, and you'll be sure not to miss.
Hey, if my father was British, I'd be lucky to be fatherless. I'm really dunking on the British in this episode.
Just ask Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh no. When David starts to transform, one guy is just watching him, thinking that he's having an orgasm. If you're in any of those theaters, why are you watching anybody else?
that's how Peter Irving got caught.
I did. I liked how, as he was transforming, he was like, "Run, like get out of here!"
Yeah.
And I really liked the nails coming through his nails.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, that's yucky, but also incredible.
Yeah, so fucking good.
The police lock David in the theater. The detective shows up and David rips his fucking head off. That's sick.
Yeah. I just like that cop. Like, he runs in, he sees the wolf devouring another man, and he runs out and pulls that whole wall down, and he's like, "There's a fucking monster in there!" Like, he doesn't give a shit about the crowd. He's just like, "Let's start a panic," and everybody's like, "Oh my fucking god!"
And then the panic is so great that there's then a car crash that seemingly involves everyone in London.
It's some grade A carnage here. I'm really here for it. I like it a lot.
These cars just don't stop hitting each other.
That one dude gets run over, something rocky.
John Landis gets thrown through the fucking window. He's one of the guys that gets hit. He's the hippie with the bandana on.
Oh shit!
That gets he gets hit and he gets thrown through the fucking shop window. That's John Landis.
Wow.
And this was like just a crazy thing for them to have to fucking coordinate. And it's incredible that they managed to get it done.
All those drivers, highest number of female extras on a film ever. For about 90 seconds, all I'm hearing are police sirens, and that makes it shit because it's the British ones also.
Yeah.
And that's all you hear for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, but the carnage is grade A,
yes,
brother.
It looks great. The carnage is excellent. Finally, Alex runs through a bunch of cops and tries reasoning with the goddamn werewolf.
Well, it works for like a second. You see his brow unfurrows, and he's like, "I am David," and then he's like, "Wait, no, I'm a wolf." Oh, wait.
I think he was jumping to fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they were gonna fuck.
Yeah.
He goes to jump at Alex, and he gets shot dead. He transforms into David and just lies there naked and dying the way God intended. And then the movie just ends. Like,
roll credits right there.
It just ends. Like, Alex starts crying. Over.
Yeah. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Fucking Shauna not coming in with fucking Blue Moon.
Now, what are we doing with that one? Come on, guys.
I love it because the movie knows what its strength is. It's the entire build up to, is Jack right? Is he actually going to turn into a werewolf? Then we see him transform. He has that full night of attacks. And then the next night, and that's the first like full view of the Kessler wolf that we get. And then it cuts off right where it needs to. We don't need anything long and drawn out. I think that like the B plot with the surgeon, with the doctor trying to figure out if the town is crazy and like where the fuck David came from is great, but that detracts from the rest of the story, and that kind of pads the runtime. We don't need anything else, right? We're like, where these movies get really long and too drawn out, and where they start to get boring is like what happened with the 2010 Wolfman. Like, why do we need to just give me a guy transforming into a fucking werewolf? Don't give me this whole story about how he's got to go back to the insane asylum and how his dad is actually a werewolf and all this other shit. Just give me werewolf eats people, werewolf gets killed by the love of his life. Yeah. And that's exactly what we need. So I think that they capped it right where they needed to. But you mentioned the part where Alex is like, David, like, is this you? Is this really you? Like, what's going on? And there's that slightest bit of recognition. It's just genius puppeteering where they just managed to just kind of relax the snout.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm gonna go in for a fucking lunch.
Goes, nah, I'm a big time wolf. Nice.
Yeah. She does this Caesar Milan. She's like,
calm, assertive.
I like. I mean, the way I thought about it was, this movie kind of seems like they made like the special effects team was like, hey, look at all this stuff we made, and then they were like, let's make a movie around that, because it's really like the draw. The best parts are all the special effects.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. That's the fucking werewolf in the background.
Oh my gosh.
Again, it makes me sing the praises of Rick Baker. I love him. He's an absolute genius when it comes to makeup. And like, you can follow him on social media now. He just still does this shit just for the love of it. You know what I mean? Even though he's no longer working in movies. And he managed to win an award for this as well. He was the very first award for special effects makeup. So it just shows like the horror doesn't normally get that sort of recognition from the Academy. Right. So for him to get a shout out like that, and then to be able to get the gig for Thriller from this, is incredible because it shows how timeless his work is. And it's not to take anything away from John Landis. Like, John Landis directed what, in my opinion, is a perfect fucking movie. But it wouldn't have been possible without Rick Baker. He's really the one that makes the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
what was your favorite attack? Who, David Naughton?
No, Rick Baker.
He acts? I didn't know that he was in anything. I know he was in The Wolfman briefly.
He was in Rings as an actor.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. I'm just on his Wikipedia page.
What was you guys' favorite attack of the movie?
Now we're on the fucking spot.
I liked the whole ending, just all that carnage. I liked all that, but I think if I'm gonna narrow it down to one, is probably the subway. I really like the subway.
Yeah. For me, it's always been the subway scene or Jack's attack, the attack right at the beginning. I actually had to redub that entire scene for a project when I was going to school, when I was in Five Towns. We had to take a scene from a movie and then do all of the dialogue, the like the Foley work and all that stuff, and like put in like ADR and all that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So we just took that whole scene from when they leave the pub to the attack, and like we used celery and stuff for the bones breaking and all this. We took meat inside plastic bags and just like beat the meat in the plastic bags.
3 faces of Foley work.
Yeah.
Nice. Robbie, what about you? What's your favorite attack?
I'm gonna say the homeless dudes.
Okay.
I just like that it was just 3 homeless dudes minding their own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And their dog.
And they just get fucked.
Yeah, and their dog. That's true.
Yeah.
Is that dog's soul lost until he dies?
No,
was the dog even attacked?
I don't think the dog was attacked, but
because they sent the dog away.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, what was his name? Like Good Time?
What?
I think the dog's name was Good Time.
Oh.
So I'm just happy that
those homeless guys had a jar of peanut butter.
Robbie!
And they were having a good time.
Is that a trombone?
Yeah.
Robbie, shan't we go to Letterboxd?
Oh, we shan't. That means no.
Yeah, that means we're not doing it. Wow.
What do you guys want to give it? Let me hear yous.
I'll give it a 10.
Well, it's out of 5, so no. I was gonna say like a 4-star movie.
Yeah, 4. 4 is good. I had a great time.
Can I push y'all's to a 4.5?
You have to argue for that.
I'd give it a 4.5 for the makeup work and the just the staying power of the movie.
I'd stay at 4 just because I didn't come.
Yeah. I love that reasoning. So we're sticking with 4, and I'm gonna write on it because Andy didn't come.
Yeah.
And then you know what's gonna happen when I do that? Mr. Sunday Movies is gonna be guess the movie from this ridiculous Letterboxd review, and it's like the TheRoydsBand said Andy didn't come. 4 stars.
I'll take the shout out.
I have 5 trivia.
I have 3 trivia.
I've got none, I think.
I've got 2 tickets.
Actually,
to
I've got
Paradise.
1.
All right, Robbie, go.
What color is the lampshade that is at David's bedside in the hospital? White, red, green, or blue? John.
Green.
It is green.
Very British.
Yes.
That's why I guessed it.
All right. What is David's sister's name? Is it Debbie, Rachel, Susan, or Lucy? John.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Killing it.
So when that little kid is being force-fed pills by Alex, when Alex leaves, he picks up a comic book that he's reading. What is the comic book that he's reading? Archie, Laurel and Hardy, Doonesbury, or Superman?
Andy.
Andy.
Archie.
It is not Archie.
Damn.
John.
John.
Laurel and Hardy.
It is Laurel and Hardy.
Damn. You ever watch old Laurel and Hardy?
No.
Shit is legitimately gold. Great stuff. What is David's brother's name? I think you already said it. But George, Stephen, Max, or Gregory?
Rob. Max.
Yes.
Yes, and I only got that because you guys made that whole stink about it before.
All right, I got one.
Go for it.
When the boys first pull up and get out of the sheep truck, there's a sign with 3 different towns. What is the third town? Is it Irwood? Is it Homewood? Is it Monwood? Or is it Macwood?
Andy. The third one.
No.
Rob.
Damn it.
Rob.
Homewood.
No.
What's left?
Irwood or Munwood?
Andy.
Irwood. There you go. Yep, it's Leicestershire, Irwood, and East Proctor. And
I've
East
done it.
Proctor's the direction that they go in.
Yeah.
Is it my turn or Robbie's
I don't
turn?
know.
Go for it, Andy.
Right.
Go
Yeah,
for
go
it.
for it.
Okay. David, what does David call Prince Charles?
What does he call him?
You tell me, Robbie.
I shan't not say.
A
That means you
cigarette.
will. Very good.
There
Very
you go.
good. A British cigarette.
How many lovers does the nurse say she's had? 6, 7, 8, or 9?
Andy.
Andy.
6.
Wrong.
What?
Yeah, you got it wrong before, too.
Damn.
John. 7.
Yeah.
3 of them are one-night stands.
Yeah.
Damn.
John. I mean, I've got one. What other werewolf movie premiered in 1981?
Andy. The Howling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also with a super famous transformation scene. And it actually came out a couple months before American Werewolf, too.
It's also Rick Baker had a lot to do with that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also a really cool fucking movie.
Never seen it.
That's a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Lots of claymation. More than you would think. But yeah, that's a weird fucking werewolf. I love it.
I'm cutting one of mine only because John answered it before.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. What college is on David's shirt?
Andy.
Andy.
NYU, baby.
Yes, but that one doesn't count because, John said it before.
Aw, damn it.
I have one more.
All right.
John.
Go for it.
Twilight Zone.
No, sorry.
Shit.
When the werewolf kills the guy on the subway or in the tube, which of these fast food establishments do we see posters for? McDonald's, Burger King, Nando's, Wendy's.
Andy.
John.
Andy.
Is it Mando's?
No, first of all, it's Nando's. But that's also
Nando's.
wrong. That's also wrong.
Okay. All right.
John.
John.
Is it Burger King?
It is not Burger King, no.
Shit.
Andy.
'Cause I know what the sign says, but I thought that
Andy.
was a Burger King.
McDonald's.
It is not McDonald's. It is Wendy's.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Home of the
It
square
says like,
burger.
it says like they make it for you or something like that. So I was like, have it your way. That's Burger King, right?
Yeah, but it was 1981. I didn't even know Wendy's was around, much less in the UK.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you'll never guess what I wound up doing after I watched this movie.
Did you write a song, Robbie?
You guessed what I did. That's incredible.
Isn't it?
I don't know how you did that.
And by that, I mean my werewolves.
Nice.
Oh, no. I'm going to be honest. I didn't care for that. It made me feel icky.
That made you
Icky,
feel icky?
Yes. What else would make me feel icky?
I don't know. We
Guys,
said a
you know
lot
what
of
else I have,
wacky
though?
shit on this.
You know, you watch your freaking mouth, okay?
Whoa.
Now I'm going PG for the rest of the podcast.
All right.
All right,
We're
we've used up all our cuss words.
We're still in R though, you know?
What?
After everything we've said.
How?
I don't know, Robbie.
That's not true. That can't be right.
Yeah, are you using
That
the
can't be
wheel of
right.
names?
I am using the wheel of names. So you guys ready for me to spin it?
Yes.
It's spinning, and up first is John.
Oh shit.
John, you're up first.
Heck yeah, brothers. So a little bit about my song. My song's called Werewolf Train. And I had just watched the movie Walk the Line. So I was listening to a decent amount of Johnny Cash. And I wanted to have sort of like that cool, like railroad track sort of beat. And just something that sounded akin to like Johnny Cash, old Elvis and stuff along those lines. And I had a lot of fun writing this. I hope you guys enjoy it.
What's it called?
Werewolf Train.
Well, baby, I ain't no sailor. Baby, I ain't no priest. But when that full moon rises, I am one big hairy beast. I can hear that werewolf train a chug chug chugging down the tracks. Ah, ooh, now there ain't no coming back. 'Cause when that werewolf train comes knocking at your door, those bullets best be silver or you ain't coming back no more. They say there ain't no cure once you've been marked. Lock me up in silver chains no matter how I bark. I can hear that werewolf train a chug chug chugging down the tracks. Ah, ooh, now there ain't no coming back. 'Cause when that werewolf train comes knocking at your door, the bullets best be silver or you ain't coming back no more. You say, oh my, oh me, what great big teeth you got. Well, I'll tell you limb from limb, so you had better take your shot. I can hear that werewolf train a chug chug chugging down the tracks. Ah, ooh, now there ain't no coming back. 'Cause when that werewolf train comes knocking at your door, those bullets best be silver or you ain't coming back no more.
I like it.
Oh, thank you.
I was just gonna say Johnny Von Frankenstein, but that doesn't really
Yeah.
work.
Johnny Bones and the Railroad Boys. No, that was a lot of fun to do. That was a lot of fun to write, and I had it written before. Like that was one of those cases where I was like, I'm gonna write this song, therefore I want to do this movie with these guys.
There you
go. And so that was a lot of fun to produce too. I ended up finding like a sample of some tape hiss to have on there just to give it like some of that analog feel. Yeah, because I was like, without it sounded too clean. Same thing for the vocals. I wound up just doing one take on there. I think I doubled one or two lines during the chorus, but that was mostly just a one take vocal with a little bit of tube distortion on there, just to give it that old school sort of sound.
The tube.
And it's the tube.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a bitch to fucking program like railroad drums. That
Yeah.
Because I don't have a drum kit. I don't play drums. I have to do that all on my little fucking MPC, my little MPC mini. So that's really fucking tough to do. But that was a lot of fun. I wish that I had a telly so that I could have played a little bit of popcorn guitar to have on there and to throw the telly on for the solo. But the SG got the job done. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. The lyrics came together pretty quickly, which has been a weird experience for me because I could never write lyrics for my own music back in the day, and just I guess having the movies as inspiration has made that a lot easier for me every time I write something with you guys. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Glad you guys
Awesome.
liked it.
Yeah, I really liked it.
enjoyed
And I second that. I used to get really in my head about lyrics, and now that we do them about movies, I'm like, it's just way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even write down my lyrics a lot of the time.
The balls on this.
I just
guy.
start winging it. You ready for me to spin this wheel?
Yeah, spin that shit, Robbie.
Spin that wheel.
It's going.
Up.
It's going.
Names.
It's
Please.
me.
It's Robbie.
It's me. My song is called "Caught by the Werewolf." We all have werewolf in our song titles.
Nice.
My song is called "Caught by the Werewolf." It's your pretty basic 6/8 timing, and it goes very much like this. We're backpacking through England. We see every small town. Backpacking through England. These two American clowns. There's something about this pub that don't sit right. These patrons are acting weird, like there's something in the night. When you're caught by the werewolf, you'll never have dreams. When you're caught by the werewolf, all you'll hear is screams. Now I like my meat like my women raw. My teeth are as sharp as a table saw. I'm going hunting for a carnal knowledge of you. 'Cause I'm a man, but I'm a werewolf too. When you're caught by the werewolf, you'll never have dreams. When you're caught by the werewolf, all you'll hear is screams, yeah. You see the undead, it's more than guilt. You see the undead, it's those men you killed. I hunt at night, 'cause I must feed. You know, baby, you're not the only meat I need. When you're caught by the werewolf, you'll lose all your dreams. When you're caught by the werewolf, all you'll hear is screams. When you're caught by the werewolf. That was my song, "Caught by the Werewolf."
Nice.
I like that. They're very reminiscent of Warren Zevon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
Now, why is that? Why is that?
I'm a big Warren Zevon fan.
Oh, I thought it was because of Werewolves of London.
No, well, yes, it was, but I was like, I'm not. That's an easy parody. 'Cause
Yeah,
that wouldn't even be a parody at this point. I would just be adding the word American.
yeah.
I mean, even when John mentioned Lon Chaney before, I was gonna be like, I saw him walking with the Queen, Werewolves of London.
I like that. Did you play the bass on the like electric
On the
bass
MIDI, yeah.
on the keyboard? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say you got a fucking 6-string bass over there.
Yeah. No. I have a.
That was
MIDI.
nice and beefy. I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But
brother.
yeah. So that line that I saw you guys laughing at, I like my meat like my women raw. That took 2 takes, that line, because I first improvised it and then started laughing because I also thought that line was really funny. And part of me wanted to leave in just me laughing and going, "That's the worst line ever written." I was like, "No, Rob, you have to sing another line. You can't get meta here. It wouldn't be worth it."
I like my meat like I like my women cooked.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I like my meat like I like my women wearing a cup. Who's next?
We got to spin the wheel.
Robbie, I don't think we have to spin the
We
wheel.
have to spin the wheel.
Okay.
It's me again.
Oh shit.
It's Andy.
That's me.
Yay.
All right, my song. I literally wrote it a couple of hours ago and recorded it minutes before we started recording this. It's called The Werewolf's Curse, and it goes like this. That's my
That was
song
fucking
called
sick.
Rock and Roll, brother.
Yeah, that was both rock and roll.
Rock as well as roll. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do this thing where it's like the first part is like, I like this shit ain't real, like get out of my head, and I also included the line survivor's guilt because I kind of got some vibes like maybe he thinks he's guilty, like he's got survivor's guilt, like he's guilty that he lived and his friend died, you know, and like that it's manifesting itself in his friend visiting him.
Right.
Then it's like he's saying like you're a werewolf, and then he's like actually a werewolf. So it's
Yeah.
But then the second part, the do dee 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 dee, and then it gets like kind of wonky. Like I did the devil's third.
Yeah.
Because it's Halloween, baby. I'm scared of it. But like I was gonna that's gonna be the part like fucking like you should kill yourself. Like
yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna add. But yeah, I rock and roll,
That had a super
Rock and roll.
deep purple feel and with like a Black Sabbath feel at the ending. And I'm jealous that I did not write that fucking riff. Because when you hit the fucking tritone, dude, that was so fucking good. I love a good like here, we're gonna do it. You're gonna think it's going around 4 times, and nope, here you go. Here's the one wonky note.
Yeah,
that was fucking great.
I appreciate that. I mean, again, this PVT 60 that I got, it makes me want to play weird shit because it's a weird guitar. So I'm into it. Also, the riff was more inspired. The one at the end is scoo dee 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 dee. That you ever hear Rush's La Villa Strangiato?
Oh sure,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's bam 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 boom bam bam. That's what I was going for. Like
Sounds like thought you were gonna ask the
the Rube Goldberg machine song.
Yeah.
All Tom and Jerry cartoons ever.
Yeah. And I mean that's what they were going for. So
Yeah.
But rock and roll, fellas.
Cock and Coal.
Sure. Robbie,
Socks and Souls. Your
Oh, he's
favorite
got-
website.
he's got more. My favorite website. You son of a bitch, Robbie. Robbie, what do we got going on next week there, brother?
Oh, that is one of the most excellent questions you've ever asked me. We're doing Basket Case from 1982. We're going 1 year into the future.
Basket Case.
Yeah.
Do you have the time?
I have the time.
Oh, to listen to me whine?
Oh, no, absolutely
13
not.
o'clock.
Okay, I understand.
I don't want to hear your
I'll call you
shit.
later, Robbie.
Oh, sick.
Just whine like, well.
Yeah. John,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
thank you so much for joining us again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
Hey.
guys for having me.
Promote all your podcasts and socials one more time, John.
Absolutely. Check out the Scrap Metal Podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, as well as Instagram and TikTok. We are at Scrap
You
Metal
the
Podcast.
Tube.
You the
Nice.
Tube. Follow me over at Jon Von Frankenstein on Instagram and on the Tickety Tockety. And Moonlight Mad Reviews if you want some horror shit as well.
Nice.
Very cool. Go check all those out. Andy, where can they find our music?
Oh, you go to Spotify, you go to Deezer, you go to Apple Music, really wherever you get your
Yeah,
music.
Tail Twirl,
Tail Twirl. Yep.
Slovebox.
Yep. You type in the Royds and you'll find a lot of songs. Okay, I'm talking a lot.
Candink.
Yep. And but if you want everything, including guest songs like you heard today from John, you could go to TheRoydsBandcamp.com where you'll find well over 200 songs, including guest songs, bonus songs, every Royd song that's ever been on the planet. Yeah, check it out. Leave a 5-star review, share with your friends. Also, we have all the songs from the podcast on YouTube as well, so check that out. Robbie, the socials.
Borfsnan, first of all. We can't forget Borfsnan. Check us out. Check out our music there. You go to Instagram. You go to TikTok. You go to YouTube. You type in the Royds Band. There we are. There we be. There you will happen to see our pretty little faces. It's also where we do all our promotions and such. You can also send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube at the Royds Review Podcast. But wherever you are listening to us, give us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps both me and the two of you. I'm pointing at Andy and John.
Yeah. Yeah, we really appreciate you listening. Leave a 5-star review. Tell your friends. Word of mouth is extremely. We need all the mice to know.
Yeah, because we're trying to lure out a werewolf with the mice.
Yeah. But
Everybody knows that's their only weakness.
Yeah, mice.
An American werewolf in America.
Oh shit. Kind of don't really need to say American.
No, it's important because they're really patriotic.
Okay.
I'm an American werewolf.
They're wearing.
I'm first generation American werewolf.
Next week, basket case. Thanks again, John, for joining us.
You got it.
Thank you again for listening to the listeners. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.